As we recognize our nation's servicemen and women this Veterans Day, we also need to recognize that many veterans are struggling with their finances. But there are some steps that they can take to get back on the right track. And Brian Levy from BML Wealth Management is here with a closer look at some of the common problems and some advice. Brian, great to see you. Good morning.
Great to be here, Adrian.
All right, so let's talk about the financial struggles that a lot of veterans are dealing with. How big of a problem is this? And what are some of the first steps that they can take? Because when you don't know what the first steps are, sometimes it can feel hopeless.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I first want to start off by thanking the veterans, obviously, for their service and their sacrifice. But you're absolutely right, Adrian. You know, they're dealing with a lot. And, you know, one of the areas is they just don't have enough in savings. Half of the military families don't have an emergency fund, or what I like to call a rainy day fund. And, you know, 26% of military spouses are unemployed. So that doesn't help the equation. So you want to try and set up some type of autopilot investing through your paycheck to build up those savings. A large part to the average military service person has double the amount of credit card debt than the average non-military member or an average American. So, you know, they're dealing with large credit card debts, and unfortunately, they don't want to spill their candy in the lobby. They're not going to their peer group or their commanders and talking about their financial struggles. So they need solutions to really figure out, how do I pay down those largest credit card debts first and start building back their financial life.
And it can be really tough to get out from that credit card debt. What would be your specific advice regarding that?
Yeah, well, in terms of the credit card debt, I always say, you know, when we talk about credit card debt, we're talking about 18, 20 plus % interest a year. You're not going to make more than that in the stock market on a normal year or in your investment. So start paying down those largest credit cards first. And then from there, start building beyond that your own emergency fund like we had talked about. You know, one of the things I want to kind of switch gears to, Adrian, is not only are military service people dealing with tough financial situations, lack of savings, credit card debt, they're also dealing with scammers out there. You know, with the pandemic, the scammers come out of the woodwork, and scammers are reaching out to military vets, trying to offer them cash for their pensions or their disability payments. It's absolutely horrible. And you want to make sure, you want to go to the VA website. They have a great resource on, hey, what's legitimate and what's not, so you don't get caught in those scams and make your financial situation even worse.
All right, well, that is great advice. Brian, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Brian Levy from BML Wealth Management. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.